Welcome to ViewTheRace.com. This is the Half Marathon Unplugged from Colchester, Vermont. The race starts near Airport Park on Colchester Point Road. And this event is a very unique event. Not only is this course a point-to-point course where it starts in Colchester and ends in the South End of Burlington, but also about 8 of the 13 miles are actually on the Island Line bike path. A lot of different terrain changes and scene changes on this course make it very interesting. Now little over the first mile of the course is on roads as we take this right on Mills Point Road. Soon after we take that right, we're going to cross over the 1 mile mark and then we're going to actually get onto the bike trail. Now this starts our first section of the course on the bike trail. Now this section is gravel or dirt, whereas the remaining parts on the bike trail are paved. Even though it's gravel or dirt, the footing was very good through this section, and it's mostly hard pack. This part of the trail was very heavily wooded. Really nice place to go for a run. Now at this point we're heading back towards Airport Park, close to where the race started. Now as we cross through mile 2, we're actually going to enter the park, and we're going to work our way around the path and then exit the park back out onto the roads. The next couple miles of this course, we're going to go through a series of loops through several neighborhoods. Mostly just small inclines or declines as we complete each circle. Nice neighborhoods to run through. Now because this is a point-to-point course, this race actually offers busing from the finish to the start line. So I'd recommend you use that service as it makes it much more convenient. You can just park near the finish and then take a bus to the start, and that way you won't have to return to Airport Park at the end of the race. You're going to stay to the right and then take a quick right onto Colchester Point Road, and then we're going to quickly take our first right onto Tanglewood Drive. And we're going to complete another loop through this neighborhood. Very similar terrain. So most of the first 5 miles of this course are actually on roads, except for that short section that we already ran on, the gravel dirt road section. And then most of the remainder of the race after mile 5 is on the bike path. Now as you take this right on Windermere Road, we're actually going to be heading towards the bike path. And this is mostly slightly downhill through this section. As we work our way around, we're going to continue straight through this stop sign, and then the road's going to go down sharply. We have a nice downhill right here. And we'll work our way around this corner, and now we're going to enter the bike path. Now soon after we enter the path, this is probably my favorite part of this course. It's pretty cool running down the path with the black railings on both sides. It makes you feel like you're in a chute. And then as you come around this corner, you run over a really cool pedestrian bridge. Beautiful views of Lake Champlain on the right, and just a really cool bridge to run over. There's not too many races where you have scenes like this and a pedestrian bridge to run over. Very, very interesting and very cool to run. After we cross the bridge, we get back on the path, and again, the path is almost completely flat for the entire way. Now, you may notice over the next 7 miles, some sections of the bike path I've actually cut out. They're very similar in terrain, and that's saved on the length of the video. But I've left in all of the good parts. There are a few road crossings on the bike path, but it's very well marked and should not be an issue at all. And for a bike path of this length, there really is not that many road crossings. So if you've never worked out or been on the Island Line bike trail, this is really a good place to work out, whether you're going to run or bike. Nice break to get away from the vehicular traffic and the different issues that happen on the road sometimes. It's nice to take a break and get out on a trail and just enjoy the woods and enjoy the views of the lake. You'll see a lot of people on this trail. So we cross through mile 7. You just got to really maintain your form and your pace when you're on a course like this where it's perfectly flat and you can see long stretches ahead of you at times. Really just need to keep your focus and keep your pace. And this part of the path is very wooded, but there are breaks in the trees occasionally, and you will see views of the lake and of the beaches on the right. Now, soon after we cross mile 9, we're going to stay on the bike path as you kind of work your way through this little street crossing, and then you're going to enter Waterfront Park, a famous park in Burlington, and also the scene of the finish line of the Vermont City Marathon. So we're just going to run right through the park. And about this point in the bike path, the path is going to open up a bit more as we run through more populated areas. So there'll be a lot more things to look at. Just diagonally stay on the trail through this section. There's just a few more additional street crossings through this section, but again, we'll just continue on the bike path. The path is also going to start to twist and turn just a little bit more for the last few miles. Beautiful views of the lake on the right as we cross through mile 10. Again, the path is just perfectly flat. No hills to deal with. Now, as we approach mile 11, the bike path actually heads out onto the road for a very short stretch, right at Harrison Avenue. We're going to go over another little bridge, which is Lakeside Ave. And then the bike path actually heads out onto the roads, and then it just reconnects to the path just a short way down the road. So we're actually going to leave the bike path and run out on the roads, and again, the road is just perfectly flat, actually slightly downhill. And we're going to go a couple of blocks on the roads, and then we're going to take a left right back onto the bike path. Another little bridge, and then as we come around the corner, look to your left, you'll see the Vermont Stonehenge monuments. Look to the right, beautiful views of the lake. Now as we approach Oakledge Park, we're actually going to bear to the left and leave the bike trail. And we're going to run on the road that is in the center of Oakledge Park. And then the course is actually going to go right through the parking lot and reconnect with the bike trail on the other side of the parking lot. Again, the road continues to be perfectly flat. So we reconnect with the bike trail here. Now as we come towards the end, we're going to take a right, and we're actually going to leave the bike trail and go on onto Austin Drive. As soon as you get on Austin Drive, we're going to have a nice little downhill and then take a quick left onto South Cove Road. Now South Cove Road is just a big loop. So we're going to loop around and head back towards Austin Drive. A little bit of a slight uphill as we get on South Cove. Then we're going to have a slight downhill on the back side of it. Beautiful homes, both sides of the road. Nice views of the lake on the left. As we come towards the end of South Cove Road, stay to the right side of the road as you'll be taking a right back out onto Austin Drive. Now as soon as you take this right, we're going to have a bit of an uphill. It's short, but a bit of an uphill as we head back towards the bike path. Take a quick left back out onto the bike path, and now we're going to retrace our steps back on the bike path and then back through the parking lot. Now as we come towards the end of the road, there's going to be a fork in the road. We're going to bear to the right and take a hard right all the way back to Flynn Avenue. As soon as you get on Flynn Avenue, you can start your finish line sprint. Thank you for viewing the race at viewtherace.com.